I was turning my second colored pencil blank, and as you can see, I lost a piece. The reason why I lost it, notice where it is. This one's probably going to be next if I'm not careful. There wasn't a lot of the pencil on there, and the pencil was extremely soft, and basically it wasn't a catch, it just turned out. It just basically, I'm turning and I'm coming up this way, and all of a sudden, boom, it just shot. The nice thing about slim lines, I can take my parting tool, or I'm sorry, I could take my skew with the point down, and I can cut that off right there, and I can finish this, and I can still use that as the cap of a pen. Alright, I cut that loose, and you can see it spinning, and I scored the tube pretty hard with my skew, and my hope in that is it'll be a little easier to get it cut. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this from the mandrel, and I'm going to get this piece of the tube removed, and then we'll put it back on and we'll finish it up. I took this over to my scroll saw and cut the tube off, and then I swirled it on a piece of sandpaper and flattened it out. So it looks pretty good. I'm going to put it back on the lathe and finish turning it. This pen started out with a blowout down here at the end. I went ahead and cut the tube off and finished it, and then a quick trip to my spare parts bucket yielded a couple of extra center bands, and the pen is back to normal length, and I think it looks kind of cool. I've never seen one like that, and truthfully I believe there's somebody out there that's going to love that pen. It's smooth in operation, and it looks really cool. I did a nice job drilling out this blank. Looks like I stayed pretty close to the center, both drilling the pencils into the blank and putting the tube down the middle. But while I was turning it, the red pencil crumbled on the top and bottom blank. What I think I'm going to try to do is pick this out, and I'm going to try to glue another pencil in its place. The back blank, it should look pretty good because it's still relatively round. The front one, I've got to kind of deal with the little corner there. Decided to use a razor knife, and I'm just going to try to very carefully remove as much of this as I can. Got a little bit of the outside of the pencil right there. It is. It's coming loose. Now what I want to do is I want to keep an eye on this. I'm going to try to leave a little bit of the side over there as I fit this in. So it looks like I can come right through there. Let's dig that out. Check it out here. Almost. I've got to take just a hair more out around here. That looks pretty good. I can still see that there's a little cleanup in here around the back of this blank. There we go. I think that's pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up down around the tube a little bit. I know this is hard to see. My lighting in this particular shop is terrible. Let me see if I can, there we go. There's still a little bit of gunk down around the bottom. I'm able to push this all the way down to the tube. The issue I'm going to have is the pin was in there before, so as the drill bit cut into it, it cut a circle out of it. Okay? I'm not going to have that, so I'm going to flood this tube with CA glue, and then I'm going to drop this in. Okay? My hope is that the CA will fill those pockets, and if I get a lot of CA in there, will really hold this pin in place, or this colored pencil in place. So let me clean out down in there against the tube and scratch the tube up a little bit, and then we'll get this glued in. I've dug the pencil out that broke off, and I've got a nice fit with the piece of pencil I have left. I'm going to break out my trusty friend medium thick CA glue. I'm going to fill this hole, and then I'll glue the pencil in. What I think I'll do though is I'll cut a section off, because I'd like to be able to dig this one out and work on this one while that one's drying. So let me get a little piece cut off of this, and I'll glue it right in that hole. There's the little piece I cut off. Let's get some CA in the hole, and I'm hoping this will compensate for the curvature. Okay. Whoops, I got to get it in there straight. I probably will end up gluing this to my fingers before it's over. It's tight. There we go. And of course I broke a piece of the pencil off. So let's grab another pencil, or another piece. Luckily I cut two pieces. There we go. All right. It's a good fit. I tell you what, let's just shoot it with some accelerator. I won't try turning right away, but what I think I am going to do is go ahead and dig this one out and get this hole filled. All right, got that baby glued in there. Let's hit it with some accelerator. And I'm going to let that set for a while because the accelerator, I don't know how far down into the hole it was able to get with the pin being in there, but I want to make sure that the bottom of this blank is good and dry where the pencil meets the tube. Otherwise, I'm just going to turn it, it's going to just pop right out. Let's see if we can very gingerly cut these off. I'm going to take my time because I do not want to get aggressive with it. My concern is if I get too aggressive and I split the pencil, that it will also split inside of the blank. So I'm just, see how it splits? These things, these pencils are just made of some very soft wood. Okay. Let's cut the second one off here. Luckily, we've still got quite a bit of meat left on both of the pin blanks, so if I do scar the blank with this flush cut saw, it's not going to be anything that I can't turn off. There we go. I think I'm going to go at it at another angle here too and just try to take some of the back piece off. I just don't want anything that I can catch on as I turn. I'm going to use a skew, which I'm going to go sharpen before I attempt to use, and that's not a bad looking fix. I hope it hangs in there. Got my skew ready. I'm going to give this a shot and see if I can turn it and keep from losing these. Well, pretty happy with that. I mean, obviously you can see, let me see if I can zero in, you can kind of see a little red line through there, but it's not real visible. There's a little bit of space there. Man, I tell you what, I apologize, guys. I hope when I get in my new shop, my camera's better, but this appears to have worked. I'm not going to take it down any farther. I think I'm going to go ahead. I like the shape. I'm going to get my sandpaper out, and I am going to flip-flop it. I like to do that when I sand, but overall, I'm pretty darn happy with the repair. And here's the pin. If you look closely, you can see right there and right there where I made the fixes, but you really have to look closely because this one, I had a problem barrel trimming it and lost part of it, so I went ahead and used double bands. I hit my scrap bin again, put a double band in there. It's now the proper length, and I think it looks actually really cool. Here's something that just happened to me for the first time ever. Right there, I don't know how well you can see it. I'm assuming that's a pin nail in my blank. As I was turning, something kept hitting. You notice how it's fatter in the middle. I was trying to turn this blank down, and something kept hitting on my roughing gouge, making a noise. And I don't know how well you can see the front of my roughing gouge, but it just tore the heck out of the front of my roughing gouge. And finally, after about 3 or 4 stops, I shut the lathe off and noticed that I've got this pin nail in there. So I'm going to dig this out. Hopefully the surface is kind of tore up where it was, my tool was forcing it, beating it back. But hopefully if I can get a grip on it and pull it out, there'll be such a small hole farther down the blank that it'll either turn away or never show up. So let me get my tools and let's remove this pin nail. Since I know that the majority of this is going to get turned away, I don't really care if I scar this up. So I'm just going to take a razor knife and just sort of cut a little groove around this so that I can get a grip on it with a pair of needle nose. None of this will show. Okay, there we go. Get a little further down in there. This was a blank that was given to me and had no indication that this was in there, so kind of amazing how that can happen. Oop, I had a grip on it, but I lost it. Wow. Let me dig a little more. I'm going to get a little better grip. Evidently, I'm not getting enough of a bite on it to be able to remove it. Not sure how long this nail is either. It could go pretty deep down in there. Try to keep my hands behind the blade as I'm cutting. Don't want to cut my finger, and that would make my day a lot shorter for turning. Let's see if we can get a grip on that. Yep, oh, had a pretty good grip on it. There we go. Look at that. That's what we're dealing with. That is, whoops, that's just a pin nail. Not sure how it got in there. Like I said, I was given this blank, but it's removed. That will all get turned away. When I'm done, you'll never know that was there.